Well, as any married woman knows, the second your man pops the question is the time that you start planning. And it's not just the guest list and the dress you need to be worried about, because let's face it, all eyes are going to be on you that day. So Tim Maurer, president of Mukha Spa and makeup extraordinaire, helping me with this timeline to perfection. So good to see you, Tim.
I think it's cute that you said the second that they get proposed to. I think you start planning it as soon as you understand what the word means.
Absolutely.
So like
yeah,
4 or 5 years
like
old with
5
the
years
pillowcase on your head.
You know, the earlier the better. I'm trying to give some of them the benefit of the doubt here.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, though, how big of a difference does it really make if you are, like, planning out in advance when you need to get things done?
My absolute favorite brides to work with are the ones that are the most organized. It makes everything less stressful for you.
Right.
Especially if you're going for a certain style or look on that wedding day. Trying to get yourself there without doing it all at the last minute, like losing that 15 pounds you wanted to the month before instead of planning 6 months before. Starting with a dermatologist or a skincare therapist early in that 6 months ahead of the wedding.
Right.
The better your skin looks, the less makeup you have to wear.
And that's the thing. Some people want to kind of slather on the makeup. They think, okay, it's my big day, right? I'm going to make sure that every picture's perfect. I'm going to shellac it on.
The #1 mistake is to walk down the aisle like no one has ever seen you in your entire life before.
Right.
You want Grandma Edna to actually know she's at the right wedding. If you are a person who doesn't wear a lot of makeup, the mistake is to turn yourself into Joan Collins on your wedding day. It doesn't work.
You're not going to have good memories. You're not going to like your pictures.
You won't feel comfortable.
Right.
And you're going to look back at pictures 20 years later and think, what was I thinking?
So let's get them straight, Tim.
Yes.
First one we're going to start is 6 months out. And you say that's a good time to start planning,
That's
right?
a good time to start planning the way you want to look and how you want to feel on your wedding day.
Okay, so we're going to say this is kind of your pathway to perfection, you
Exactly. So your dermatologist, your skin therapist, this is when you start planning out treatment. You don't do that 3 weeks before your wedding. You do it way before, so that if there has to be something done aggressive, maybe you're dealing with some acne on your back or on your face, and there's going to be a couple peels involved, you want enough time for that all to heal very well before your wedding day. This is also a really good time to talk to your nutritionist and trainer. And I mean, every woman's beautiful, so if you love your curves and you want to keep every one of them, don't worry about this. But if you're wanting to lose a little weight and be a little thinner for your wedding day, this is when you start thinking about it.
Right, exactly. Okay, so then we're going to get to 4 months out.
Yes, ma'am.
And in this one, we're talking hair, which sometimes you wouldn't think that far out, but it's important.
Really important. And this is when you look for that person, because this is where we often see things go awry, and for the stress to really hit the ceiling during a wedding is because the hair isn't going the way that they want it to, because they didn't do a run through, they don't know the person they're working with. You need to have planned and made a relationship with someone so that you can talk to each other effectively that day. Sometimes it can look like 2 squirrels and a hairspray bottle played in the back of your head. And nobody wants to look like that.
Right.
So you've got to work that out first. It's really, really important. And then the health of the hair.
I was going to say, and like the highlights and things like that, I mean, that all has to happen so that you don't look, you know, streaky on your wedding day. You're not looking
If you've been
weird.
a blonde your whole life, don't become Jessica Rabbit for your wedding day. Don't turn yourself into a redhead or a brunette. Try to stay true to yourself.
Okay, I like that. That's a perfect way to put it. And then this one, which sometimes I'm sure many men don't want to be involved in this, but we've got to talk about
so many of them should have. 2 eyebrows are so important. You cannot have a single eyebrow. It is not okay. I don't care if you're the guy or the girl. And the men deserve to be taken care of too. They are in these pictures also for the rest of their lives. And a unibrow is not acceptable.
And you can do some grooming, as you call it, right?
And it doesn't have to be an hour-and-a-half facial, because they're gonna want to jump off a cliff if you do that to them.
Right.
But a good skin treatment and getting some pore reduction and maybe a skincare product or 2 at home, getting them ready for that.
And of
It
course,
doesn't have to be girly.
wax.
They can still feel like a dude at the end of the day.
Okay, and then down to the wire, 1 month out, you're saying trial by fire, right?
Yes, ma'am. This is when you go to your makeup person, you go to your hair person, and you bring your wedding dress, and you do it all together.
Okay.
Don't do the trials separately. Get your hair done on the same day that you're going to do the trial for your makeup. put the dress on and take pictures of everything. It's the only way to know you're going to be happy.
All right, or you could just go see Tim because he will make you happy.
Because we will tell you how you should be happy.